So here's the 3D modeled version of the Game Boy keychain. I have it broken up into multiple pieces so that way I can print them in different colors and to be able to have the buttons be free floating. I started off with an actual full-on one-piece 3D model and cut it up afterwards. To do that, I actually took my Game Boy that I have, and that's how I got all the dimensions, mixed with photos off the internet so that way I could get everything exactly right. But yeah, so I modeled it 1-to-1 scale first, and then I scaled it down. The keychains are 40% to the actual full-on size. I also wanted to have the same click that you have when you take out the game and put it in. So what I did is in here I just added a little bump, and it actually clicks into the little triangle that I have on here. That took some finagling, kind of changed things a few times to get it right. But yeah, now it actually has a pretty satisfying click. Right, so the next thing that I have to do is I just have to import it into my slicer. So for this one, I'm going to have the body rear, and I'm going to also have the front. And those are going to be the only two that I print on this one. And I'll slice that. And that'll take about 2.5 hours. Actually, yeah, no, that'll work. Although I may end up doing a raft. I'm not sure on that yet. But yeah, and the next step is just to print it and then go from there. So I'm preheating the printer. I have to save the SDL or the G code to the card. So I'm going to do that right now while that's warming up. Alright, that's saved. Now they want this one printed in blue, so I have to change out the gray for blue. Gotta wait for that to warm up for a few more minutes. But yeah, so I store these. All I do is I store them in a bag with some desiccant. Though I do gotta change this desiccant because they don't last forever. Alright. Alright, throw the blue one in there. Now, when you cut the ends of these, it's all frayed. I need to get that all out. Cut them at an angle, which makes it easier to feed it into the 3D printer. Feed this in. Now this printer is just an Ender 3. I don't have a function to purge it, so I just have to keep turning it until I purge the gray that was in there. I gotta clean my build plate. Bit of a mess. One thing that I found out the hard way is don't just wait until the blue comes out. There always seems to be a little bit more of the last color after the blue comes out, or the color you're using now comes out, and it'll ruin your print, unless you have a raft, and it doesn't really matter. That should be good. Now I print it. Alright, so I already had some of the cards printed. As you see, they're in two pieces. The actual reason for that was I was going to have the image under it and then put them together. I didn't like how that worked. I actually was struggling with that more. And I just never went back to one piece. It actually isn't too bad though, because I don't like the look of the side that's on the build plate. So by having the back sides, the parts that touch together on the build plate, have these both face up, it gives me a little bit better finish. So yes, all I have to do is I'm just going to glue these two together. And I just use super glue. I do a couple of dots on here. All around it. Then just take a scrap piece here. I'll just spread it. That way it covers the whole thing. Let's not glue it to my finger. I've done that more times than I can count. Probably use a little bit more to spread it. Hopefully that wasn't too much. Alright, now that should be good. Alright, now make sure I actually have it going the right way. Line them up as good as I can. And just apply a little bit of pressure. And there you have it. Now it's back to being one card. What I'll do is I'll print out the image for the front and then whatever image I do for the screen. And that part is done. Okay, so finished printing this now, the front and the rear. I already had the buttons and everything printed, so I don't have any footage of that. But yeah, I'm just going to show you just now the finishing touches on it. I just make sure that these all actually fit before I go too much further here. Alright. Yep, those seem to fit fine, though I might trim the back of this just a little bit. Now, I like to have these free floating in here. So what I'll do is I'll actually take just a small piece of paper, the photo paper that I use, and I fold it, and it kind of gives it a little bit of a spring where it presses it up against the top and allows it to still move. So it kind of feels like they're real buttons. It's a little bit of a pain, but makes for a good effect. And also, I'm going to just make sure that this actually slides in and out easy enough. Yep. Clicks in real nice. It's a little tight. That'll loosen up though. Alright, grab a scrap piece of paper. That should work. All I'm going to do is just cut a small strip. Nothing huge, just, where's the camera? There it is. Small strip like that. And I'm just going to fold it so that way it fits down inside the little indents in here. That should work. And then just use this to clip it. Good. This part can be a little tedious. There's another one. And this one I'll usually do a couple of them. One like this. That wasn't supposed to happen. One more. Yeah, that should work. Alright. What did I do with it? Oh, there it is. Right, where was it supposed to be? Alright. And I'm just going to use a little bit of super glue. And just glue it into place. I'll just do that with all of them. Try to get this all on camera here. Wait a few minutes for that to dry before I try to assemble it. Ooh, don't drop it like that. Yeah, and glue it to my finger. That's typical. And then I want this one to go the opposite way. Just like that. Good. Okay. Now while I wait for that to dry, I'm going to grab the screen insert. What did I do with it? Again, I had printed a bunch of these beforehand. And just make sure that that fits. Good. That fits good. So, yep, that's how it's gonna look, roughly. And just do a test fit. Make sure everything's going to line up right. Fold those down. Oop, no, that's still too wet. Alright. Well, we'll come back as soon as that's dry. Okay, so I did a little test fit here, and I don't know if you can really be able to see that on the camera, but they move nice, so that worked exactly how I wanted it to. And then again with the screen, just press the screen into place, and it actually holds that together pretty nicely. But now I have to glue it all together. Just again, like earlier, do a bunch of little dots kind of all over the whole thing. And just spread out the glue. Alright. Now I just gotta make sure that I line it up right and not glue it to myself. And just press it together. Make sure it gets good contact. This took multiple renditions before I was actually able to get it to work the way that I wanted it. This is probably the 5th revision, maybe 6th, I can't really remember. But yeah, it was all just trial and error. I had the actual Game Boy, so I was able to get all the dimensions and everything that I needed, and just scaled it down. It's not exactly the same. There are some things in it that I took out. Like there's no power switch on the side or the volume or anything like that. Little things, but it's still noticeably a Game Boy. So that's what I was going for. Alright, that should be alright, just like that. I may clean up that bottom a bit where it was attached to the build plate. But yeah, then I just have the game that slots in the back. And what I'll do is I'm going to have an image that I put in there. So yeah, so now I'm going to go source the images that I need, and I'll be back. Okay, the glue is all dried. And I actually have a second one going out to the same customer. They wanted it in purple as well. I have the game cartridge, and they also wanted another one for their other game as well. And then I printed out all of the labels that I need for it. So I'm just going to show you putting them together. Again, as always, I use super glue to hold everything, but these are also stickers. So I'll have to peel the backs off all the stickers. I'll start with the gray Yoshi one. Just use a X-Acto blade just to peel it up. And I'm just going to take a small dab of glue, put it right in the center. And then just take another scrap popsicle stick, spread it around. Okay. Well, that was dumb. I put my hand right on the sticker. Alright, then just carefully line it up. And make sure it's completely seated. So that way it doesn't peel off. Okay. So there's, oh, come on, focus, focus. Alrighty. So there's that. Now to do the back side. Same thing. Peel it up. Let's put it away from me this time. Another small dab of glue. And then spread it around. Make sure I put it on the right way. And get it to completely seat. Alright, and there's that part of it. So, when I slot it in, now it has the screen for it. And then the only next thing to do is put on a keychain. Just open up the jump ring, put it on, and then reclose it. And there you have it, completely finished. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. This was one of my more in-depth videos. The rest of my keychains really don't take this much, but I will be posting more about all my other products. So yeah, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you around.